welcome to the show. It's called The Lee Michaels Show on thepowerofvoices.com and YouTube Live, The Power of Voices, also on the Lee Michaels feed on YouTube, and Facebook, The Power of Voices, and Facebook, Lee Michaels. So we're here, there, and everywhere. 2 places on Facebook, 2 places on YouTube. And we're also streaming live at our website, the audio only. If you don't want to see my ugly mug, I'm cool with that. I do have a face for radio, and I own it. That's me. You can listen to us live streaming on thepowerofvoices.com. Just click on the Listen Now button, and boom, shakalaka, you'll be in there. And we're kind of a few minutes late here today because our video streaming computer blew up like late last night. So I had to work hard and work quickly to get something else so that we can be on air today. So hopefully this one doesn't blow up. we'll be okay. So thanks for being patient, but we're here. And Carol is here. She says, I'm feeling kind of funky today, so don't mess with me. So I got to be cool. I'm not going to get her upset. I promise, Carol, I'll be good to you today.
No,
okay?
it's just time. I have to take a certain thing with my asthma.
Yeah.
I try not to take this.
And she's
it
got
makes me really moody.
She's got her sunglasses on today, so.
They're on every day.
Not those. Those are you didn't have those on yesterday.
Yeah, I did.
No.
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah, I know what I wear.
Okay,
Don't mess with me, Lee.
All right. Don't make
Not
me
today.
Don't make me go off today, huh? Well, you know what? Today is a special day.
Yeah, I'm leading it.
That's right. So, Chris, let's welcome Chris in, and then we're going to follow your lead. You're the lead host today. What's up?
Boom shakalaka. Hey, good morning, Lee.
Hey, man.
All right, how's it going?
Good. You ready for this?
I'm ready for this. And good morning, Carol. It is the Carol Show. I cannot wait.
No, it won't last that long now.
No.
No.
You got 2 hours.
I just sent you guys something that we'll show it.
Okay.
I'll explain to you
you're going to put me to work?
Is.
Damn. Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, how did you send it? Through Facebook?
Messenger, yeah.
Oh, God. I can't do that.
Okay, I got it now.
Messenger.
Check this out now.
Makes
I want
it a
you to
little
really
difficult
pay
for me to do.
attention to this cat.
All right.
Anthony sent it to me, Anthony Hamilton.
Okay. Is Anthony watching now?
No, we'll wait till he's in here.
Okay. All right. Give me a few minutes to set up that
Is
video
Alpha on?
thing.
Because I know he'll take over to something I want to talk about.
No, he's not in yet, but, he kind of
Get in here, Alpha.
rolls in when he
Well,
wants
Chris
to.
kind of watches the news, too, a lot. It's you that
Oh,
know.
yeah. I watch the news. Speaking of Alpha, magically
Well, see,
he
just talk him
appears.
There you go.
What's up, Alpha?
Well, I wouldn't miss this for the world.
There you go.
Well, I hope you did your homework.
Homework.
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question and then see if you read up on this.
Uh-oh. Put you to the test.
I know how long shoestring.
Normally he does know everything, him or Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're all aware of, there was a big arrest, 60 arrested in Georgia for human trafficking. Some of those kids were, I think, as young as 3 years old. There were 84 minors were recovered and 120 traffickers were arrested. It just leaves you wonder, is your kid safe? Did you read this, Alpha or Chris?
No, I didn't, Carol.
I didn't hear about this story.
It just really shows you how bad this human trafficking is. I mean,
Oh, it's terrible.
it's gotten to a point, and Lee will tell you this, in our state, especially where we live, you don't see kids outside riding bikes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see them outside playing like we used to do or where they do other places. It's not safe. You don't even let your kids walk home from school. If you see a kid walking home from school, you look at that kid, and he might be with his tiny little sister that's maybe in kindergarten, and maybe he's in second grade, and you look at them and you go, what kind of parents letting these kids walk?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's out there. Every time we turn around, some girl's almost being grabbed here.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're trying to pull her in these vans. And
yeah,
it's
it is. It's an epidemic in some areas worse than others around the country. But it's a serious issue that, parents, listen, you can't assume that everything is okay. You got to assume that it's not. When I'm out driving, and it's not often, but when school is out, I pick up kids from junior high, elementary school, high school,
yeah,
and take them
does
home.
That.
And I go, wow, would I do that? If my kids were of this age, would I do that?
Well, sometimes you don't have a choice when you're a mother, but
Yeah.
you can get the same Uber driver.
If you can do that,
And
that's
they
fine.
do have a thing that these mothers started now where they will pick your child up. They set it up. They tell
Right.
you who exactly, and they use only women.
Right. Well, that's a good thing.
But it's
Not that-
$16. You can be 5 minutes and it's $16.
Oh, it's a flat fee.
So when you have
regardless.
a single mother, that's
$16 is a $16
well,
a day.
that's what they
Yeah.
make sometimes in an hour. So
That's right.
it takes too much out of their pocket. But
Yeah.
they use the same driver.
Well, what's the price of your child's safety? If you
Well,
got to give up an hour's pay to make it
It's
happen,
safer for her to have the Uber driver pick
Yeah.
her up than to walk home.
it is safer.
It's way safer.
So the blessing is that there are transportation methods nowadays that we didn't have. Sometimes I remember with my kids, if my wife or if I couldn't be there to pick them up, they just had to stay there until we could. Now these schools are charging.
See, it wasn't
Well,
like
after
that
school.
with mine. Mine could walk home at the
Well,
time.
yeah, but our kids were a little too far away to walk.
I walked
in some
honey.
cases.
I used to have to walk
Yeah.
miles and miles, but
Yeah, when we lived in New York,
it's just
walking
now
wasn't
it
even
just
an
isn't
option.
safe. And I mean, I think Uber and Lyft should start a thing now where, well, they already do research you and see if you've been arrested for anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and
They
I
do
think
background checks on the
eventually they're
drivers.
going to have to be bonded.
Yeah.
I really feel they should have to be.
Well,
They have fake Uber drivers that go out there that aren't even an Uber driver,
Yeah.
and they've had some major issues.
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But, that's a blessing that these transportation rideshare services are available now. That helps a lot of parents out. But
So
I've
they
had
don't. She doesn't do ride share because you don't know who's in that.
no.
share with her.
Rideshare is just a general
Oh.
topic, what it's called.
Uh-huh.
But I don't mean doing like a pool. No, don't do that. Not with your kid. But what you should do, if you're going to do Uber or Lyft to pick up your child from school or football practice or whatever, what you should do is to call that driver, okay? And it's happened with me. And I appreciate the fact that they're calling. They'll say, well, my name is Lucy, who I'm the owner of the account. You're going to be picking up Caroline. She has a blue dress on, and she'll be standing by the curb at this
Well, for
entrance or
some
whatever.
reason, she already knows who's going to be there.
Well, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I mean, if you're picking up a kid and the kid is not actually initiating that call in their name, then you don't know.
Rain's
You know what I mean?
extremely smart.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm just telling parents that don't know how to do this the best way to do
You
it.
know, there's two things she can do. She can either have her walk home, which is a very busy area and a very transient area,
Mm-hmm.
or do the Uber, and I think it's safer for her to get
Oh,
on
no
the Uber.
question. No question about that. But call the driver and let them know that they're picking up a child. And would you mind if when you drop that child off, give me a call back? And I've done that for the parent.
I mean,
You know,
you
I don't mind
can't
doing
even
that.
let your kids walk their dogs.
Right. And then,
Rain has a dog, and when she comes home, she's not allowed to take that dog out and walk him
right.
because of all the homeless people. Because you don't know, some of those homeless people are very mentally deranged. Some of them
Right.
have just gotten out of prison.
Yeah.
And you can't just, in California, I don't know how it is other places, but you're not allowed to tell them, call the police and say, I want them moved. They'll tell
Yeah,
you,
it's
we
difficult.
can't move them. So what my daughter does, if they get by her place, she goes out and lets them know, let me see you on drugs. I will. And they get up and leave for some reason. But
Yeah,
it's
well, they know
bad.
you now have cause to have them removed or arrested. So once you get the child home, I always say to the parent and to the child, you call your mom or your dad when you get in the house and let them know that you're in the house, because that way, that removes the liability off of me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Your chain of custody. Has that got anything to do with
That's right.
chain of custody?
He is no
Lee?
longer in my possession. This child is in your home now. After that,
my goodness.
I'm good to go.
Oh my goodness.
But you understand what I'm saying?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Because
Let's
otherwise,
establish chain of custody.
that's
You
right.
know what's weird though in this bust is, why would you take 3-month-old babies from
Well,
the age they say it's from 3 months to 15 years old that they
course.
get a hold of?
a 3-month-old child, they raise that child or sell it on the black market for people who want to adopt the child.
You have countries where this one Asian reporter went underground
Mm-hmm.
and they had 3-4-year-old girls they were making prostitutes and boys.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
a lot of their customers were Americans coming from this country.
Rich Americans.
Yeah, rich ones.
Yeah.
What do you get out of that? What would you get out of touching
They're
a
perverts.
child that young?
They're perverts.
It's horrific.
And they should be beaten with baseball bats. I said it. Welcome to the Lee Michaels Show. No, the Carol Show. I'm sorry.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good. Who is that? Spy Boy?
Oh my
No.
God.
Sound like Spy Boy.
I'm going to
Don't
turn my
puke,
mic
Carol.
off. Y'all got him.
Okay,
right,
hold on.
right
Before,
now, this is my show today, and
Yes, it
right
is.
now we're discussing about trafficking, children. And these, can you imagine? I mean, when kids disappear, and they never know where your child is, and you
Well,
never
you know
find your
what?
child.
it's
ahead.
funny you mentioned that, Carol, because I mentioned on the program, in fact, when Lee had a surprise birthday radio show for me, a good friend of mine named Ken Smith had called in, and Ken and I go back to high school together in college, and he also went to radio himself. And his wife, Claire, had this annual summer bash they have, every summer, actually, and we have a nice little get-together with various people. And I got a chance to meet various people through them. And one of Claire's high school friends, unfortunately, her daughter has been missing. It's been on the news here locally in Chicago. Her name is Kay Green, the young girl. She's 15 years old, and left her backyard. And apparently, she met somebody online, and has been missing since. And she needs medication. She's right now without her medication. She's possibly traveling to New York with unknown person or persons, and is believed to be lured from home. And so when I saw the newscast, it broke my heart more, because it's like I know these people. And having daughters myself, I can only imagine what it's like when back in the day when my girls would go out just, for social and be out with partying, and you wonder, God, please watch over them because you want to return home safe. I was watching, the mother on the screen there, and tears were going through her face and emotions, and I felt so bad, because you have no idea where your child is at this point. And the whole thing about but sex trafficking is real. And especially when people reach out to you via social media, and you feel alone as a teenager sometimes. They'll catch you, and they'll talk to you, and you become friends, and you may feel that strong enough to probably meet with them. So God watch over this family, because you got to remember, these are other families going through, but since it was so close to home, it was funny you mentioned that, Carol, because, my heart goes out to know more, because once again, knowing them, you just never know what'll
And
happen
they
in a
still
person's
haven't
life.
found her?
No, they have not. No,
How long has she been missing?
she's been missing since October 3rd.
That's terrible.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
these kids really have to be careful on Facebook and that. They'll put a picture like there's some young guy, and they're not. But see, people go, well, I don't allow my kid on. I said, don't matter whether you allow them on. Those kids are so savvy with computers. They know how to go
That's
on
true.
and put in their name without you knowing any, and they do it. I've had people say, oh, my kid would never do it. I said, well, that's funny, because your daughter popped up today on my Facebook. Did I want to friend him? I've caught my own granddaughter at times where all of a sudden, and I'll go to she goes, no. I said, yeah, she's on there. So it's just so unsafe right now.
Yeah.
It just makes me sick that you have to do this to young people.
Yeah.
It is sick.
I mean, when you start taking 3-month-old babies, it leaves you wondering, because you do have nuts, rich people that, like, what do they call that when they like to kill somebody? They'll take homeless people, because this is a true thing that happens.
Yeah.
And they like to videotape them. They pay to kill that person.
Snuff films.
Yeah, snuff. And that really happens. Like the movie Hostel? When these kids go away to they travel through all over the world. Mm-hmm. A lot of that's real. It's not fake. So
Hostel and 8 Millimeter with Nicolas Cage that come out years ago deals with that too, about snuff films.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it doesn't happen enough to be a problem.
You know, it is a problem, and it does happen enough to be a problem. Maybe you should go into your computer and Google statistics.
Spy boy.
And you'll see it does happen to be a problem. Maybe with Trump, it doesn't, because he doesn't seem to care about anybody. But it does happen.
If it happens to one family, Spy boy, it's too much. Can I get you to agree to that, at least?
Spy boy's a phony, faking the fraud. I don't even think he's real.
He's real.
It's all a damn act.
Oh,
and a very bad one at that, to be honest with you.
It's pretending these things are problems that should be dealt with.
What?
I mean, what do you want to have done? What is your remedy for
Chris and Lee, did you get? I sent you a thing on the little boy I was trying to tell you about. I sent it to you last night since I knew it was going to be my show.
I got a thing here that looks like a rat cat.
Yeah, well, I was waiting for a hat. No, there's a little kid. Remember, I was talking about it in Palmdale, how badly he was abused.
Yeah.
I sent you the story because I thought today we'd start the story talking about what is happening to a lot of kids right now.
Yeah.
How social workers are ignoring stuff. This little kid was taken from his grandparent, given to the mother, and from the time he was put in the home, he was tortured. Now they're in court, and one of the kids that was 12 years old at the time, he's 16 now. Mm-hmm. And the things he's telling you that they did to this kid, I couldn't finish watching it. I started crying.
Yeah, it's devastating.
Because if this kid came to school and you're a teacher, even a social worker, if this kid had been removed from the home before, it's obvious he was removed for a reason and lived with the grandmother. Mm-hmm. So why weren't you staying up on it? That's why these social workers are possibly going to prison, because they ignored it. They just literally ignored it. And I mean, to read the story, it will bring tears to your eyes, what this child had to go through. And this is happening too much.
It is.
Too much.
Jesse T., who has a show here on the Power of Voices, has an organization, a nonprofit that he's, I think, the chairman of, or co-chair, and he goes out late at night and try to rescue, women on the streets that are, engaged in prostitution and they want to get away, or human trafficking and all of that. So it's a real, real problem, and it's undeniable. I mean, it's real. It's happening all over the country, all over the world.
I have a friend they used to use the word turned out when she was like 15. Mm-hmm. And I met her when I was a bartender, and she was in there dancing. Mm. But she had a pimp. But she had been turned out at 15. She even had a name they gave her, and it was horrible. I managed to get her away from all that. It took me a while, and I moved her in with me, but it was horrible. Which, it wasn't just having to sleep with men. It was going into stores, boosting identities. I had another client that met a guy, and this was a young actress. And she said they went out to eat, and he was whining and dining her all the time. She said she had went into the bathroom, came out, and they handed her the bill. She said, with a credit card, and he kicked her under the table. It wasn't her credit card. Mm. But he kicked her. She had to sign that. After that, her life just, till finally, you could talk to her and say, look, I don't care how much he threatens you. Get away from it now.
Yeah.
And these girls, sometimes it isn't, who is making these noises?
Spy boy.
That's me in the kitchen cooking.
Well, turn it down then.
What you cooking, Spy Boy?
Grilled cheese sandwich.
A grilled cheese sandwich? If you in New Orleans, you eating grilled cheese, man, you're supposed to be whipping up some gumbo or jambalaya or something really, some Cajun style stuff, man. I'd
It's not
come
good
down
for
and
breakfast.
visit you on that.
It's not good for breakfast.
Well, they have breaking news right now here.
What's the breaking news?
All of you, UCLA Medical Center in Sylmar is being evacuated. It's
Another
the SWAT
school.
team, Sarah, because possibly somebody's in there armed with a gun. It's like the fires all of a sudden out here. I was telling Lee this morning, you wake up and in Pasadena, some guy went to one house and he lit a tree on fire in the car, and then I think a couple doors did the same thing. So it's either a copycat person watching what happened up north, how that whole neighborhood caught on fire,
Yep.
how it was moving. They did catch like a glimpse, but you can't really see his face. He had like long hair, but those houses could all caught on fire. That past cars burned in that. It was on the news this morning. So you
Crazy.
kind of have a lot of copycat people out there.
Yep, that happens. When one crazy gets out there and does something stupid, and then somebody says, "Well, I can do something better than that," and it just it just grows like a snowball rolling down a snow-covered hill. The temptations.
Why don't you come back on when you're done cooking? That noise is really annoying.
Oh, I'm almost done.
Well, turn it down till you're done. Just come off.
All right, I'll bring your volume down there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell if it's someone burping or...
No, it's pots and pans banging. Apparently.
I was waiting for Chris to come in and say something.
No, it's your show. I want you take the lead.
Oh, I'm not going to stay on that long. I told you I have to take some medicine that enhances my moods.
So, what do you want me to do with this rat cat?
Well, I was waiting for Anthony. He put that on my page, and I was going to explain to him
That's a weird-looking cat.
about that cat. It's a mutation.
No shit.
Sometimes it's like a kid that's born somewhere in their genes. It's like a mutant. A kid
Yeah.
might come out looking like anything.
Wow.
It's the same thing with this cat, and it's a very weird looking cat.
Yeah,
They call it a werewolf cat. There's not that many of them in the world,
Thank God.
but they're
Jeez,
supposed to
man.
be the greatest cat that you could have.
Really?
It's a great cat, but
What makes it
he
great?
sent that to me. They're like a dog.
Well, it kind of looks like a cross between a cat, a rat, and a monkey.
Yeah, it does. It
You know?
does.
It's pretty weird looking. Well, we'll play that. Let me know when you want to play that.
You
It's already
can
had-
play it, and I'll explain to you about this
Okay.
cat. It's called I can't say a lot of words, a lycoi.
like
And he does have certain things that do look like a rat if you look at the tail and that, but
Mm-hmm.
they actually call him a werewolf cat. And they've just really started where there's more of them, but some of them were found as ferals. There's not a lot of them in the United States or
Thank
the world.
goodness. He's
No,
a
they
strange
say
looking
it's
cat.
a very, very great
Yeah,
cat. That it's more like
Would you
a
have
dog.
one?
Its mannerism. Sure, I like cats.
You think
You
Fat
would
Boy
Some
would
of
do
them,
that?
they say, lose all their hair and they even look weirder, but this one kind of looks more like a
You think
a
your-
rat to me.
Yeah, you think your cats would be cool with her?
My
What, yeah?
cats, a dog could come in the house and they look at it like, hi, what kind of cat are you?
Okay.
They look at a squirrel that sits up there and they're all looking at each other, hi. So I have those kind of cats that
Yeah.
they don't know what a lot of things are. They don't
No,
go
they're-
outside.
They're not very active or.
They're very
inquisitive.
active. They run all through my house. I shine flashlights for them, but they're not these kind of cats that are going to hiss at everything unless you pick on them. And then I do have a female that will attack you.
Her?
And yes, her will attack you, and I will not stop her. You can sit and mess with my cat, then when she jumps at you with
Oh,
those
of course.
claws,
Yeah, they're supposed to defend
because she
themselves.
did that to Jim.
When Jim did something.
And
to her,
now
he threw
she
some
comes
rice at
out.
her.
Since he's gone, she does what she used to do. She lays out on the couch. So
Chill.
he was doing something. Show this cat. He's very unusual. Look
All
at
right.
his claws.
Okay.
But it's a mutant.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna.
Yeah, but hell,
Sure,
I mean,
man.
it's
This
like,
one's kind of like a rat, except for the face.
Here
At
we
first,
go.
I didn't think it was real.
All right, here, I'm gonna play it now.
all right.
Look at his tail.
Hang on. Okay, now it's playing.
And he's got web claws. You know how some kids are
Yeah.
born where they have web
Sure.
claws. Same
They ought to be
thing.
able to swim really well.
Well, there's cats that literally go in the ocean. Listen to them.
Yeah.
It's a cat.
Mm.
Very, very
That's a
different
strange
looking.
cat. Yeah, it is.
So Anthony had put that, and I looked at it, and I looked it up. I wanted to hear more about it, and it's called "Who is Chewing Now?"
That's probably Alpha. Eating is Alpha. Pots and pans is Spy Boy. Spy Boy, no, Alpha. Are you eating? Somebody's eating. Who's eating?
That
You know
wasn't
what I
Alpha.
do when I'm
No,
eating? I turn the
Alpha's
microphone
muted.
away.
Yeah, but we still hear it. We hear it when you're eating.
Isn't that an unusual cat, though?
Yeah, that is.
When I
very
first
unusual.
looked, I thought, oh, they're just putting that face on a rat. But
Yeah.
I read up all the history on it. Very interesting.
Well, I don't know. You put this cat in your house, Carol, and you might have some animal racism going on. They look at that damn thing. It's like, man, let
that
him use his
son of
own
a
litter
bitch outta
box,
here.
man. It is a separate litter box. It's a rat
Yeah,
ass
Fat Boy
cat.
said,
You know,
let me have a conversation
Fat
with
Boy
you,
might
rat cat.
have something to say because I watched
Rat
him,
cat.
and all he has to do is look at them, and they will walk away from their food. If they're up on one of the condos and he looks up at them, they jump down. I have to literally punish him sometimes because I don't want him thinking he can control my house like that with them.
Well, somebody's got to be in charge.
But little man last night had one of his horny moments.
Yeah.
He came up near me. I was laying there, and he got that little sound he does.
Yeah. He got the humping.
He thought he was. I said,
Yeah, the
get off
hump in
my
his
bed
back.
now.
I got a hump in his back.
Where all the hump was that?
He claims
right.
he claims all the women. I wanted Lee to lay down the other day to see if he would hump Lee.
No, he ain't humping on me.
Well, little man was on your bed. Was he trying to hump you or the bed or just
No,
hump
me.
air or what?
He's humping her.
What he does is if you put the blanket
Hoochie
over
coochie,
you,
everything.
something about the blanket, then he puts his teeth and he starts
Yeah,
chewing at the like he's got a. If you watch cats have sex,
yeah, that's what
they
do.
grab the back of the neck
neck.
of the female, so
to keep
he
her from
grabs
running
the
off.
blanket and he's pulling, and then he thinks
here.
he's humping. But you just got to pick him up.
Come
Now,
here,
my
bitch.
veterinarian gets hysterical over little man.
Don't you move.
He just sits and laughs and laughs. He goes, no, he's just trying to dominate. I said, no, he's humping. He said, no, but he's dominating. I go, well, it's starting to be
You
embarrassing.
run now, I'm gonna rip your neck off.
That's right. I'm like, but you move, I'm gonna snap your. Oh, don't you fucking move. I got your ass.
I think Brain videotaped. I got to see if she has
Yeah.
that tape because it will crack you up. Because little man looks grumpy, don't you think so?
Yeah.
He has a
Yeah,
very
well, he
different
looks kind of
look.
like a perverted Englishman with the little handlebar mustache.
Yeah, he has a handle. Don't he have a mustache?
Yeah, he does.
He has a
Handlebar
mustache.
A perverted Englishman.
Yeah.
I like the description, man. That's funny.
That's exactly the way it looks like.
He does have a mustache.
Yeah,
and it
That's funny.
stands way out there.
Yeah, handlebar.
Got a porn stash going.
Yeah.
And
She got
he's
a whole
funny
crazy
because
bunch of
he
cats.
loves to eat food. He will go from plate to plate. What they don't finish, he's on it.
Well, see, he evidently had another life during the Depression. He'll leave nothing
No,
behind.
you know what it was? When my client bought him, these people know she's rich. So they gave her, he's the runt, and he had issues.
How do you know which cat's going to be a runt?
The runt is the littlest one. There's always going to be a little tiny one. So
Is that the
when
same
she,
with dogs?
Yes, there's always a
Really?
runt. A lot of times there's runts in families.
Damn, so I was a runt in my family.
Probably.
Shut up.
But he only
You have
weighed
to
a
co-sign my
pound.
crazy?
He only weighed 1 pound, and he's had surgery on his
Yeah.
eye. So I take good care of him.
Yeah, you do.
He's a very
All
healthy
of 'em.
little cat. I take care of all of them.
I bet you've spent $25,000 on those cats. haven't
No,
you?
I'm smart. I have health insurance on my
Oh,
cats.
okay.
See, a lot of people don't realize that. You
Yeah.
need to get health insurance.
Definitely.
It's not that expensive.
No.
Mine's $100 deductible, and it covers. It covers a lot.
But you have to pay. Is yours the type that you have to pay
I pay
for it up front?
I
The
pay up
whatever-
front
yeah.
unless it's a vet I know, and then they know I'm going to get a check for it, or I have it
Right.
sent to them.
Okay.
And they give you all your money back but $100.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get an animal, I recommend anybody, you get an animal, insure them. It's
Absolutely.
$20-something a month for each individually.
And it varies, though, on the type of animal. it is,
Animal
though.
and the weight and the
yeah,
size.
Right. Cat or dog.
Yeah, a small dog
Horse.
would probably be about the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the video you sent
Not a
with
bad
the
idea.
lady that rescued the horse. With the
Isn't that hilarious? Did I send that to you, Chris?
Was the horse in the car or
Yeah,
something?
let me explain to you what happened is she wasn't going to leave her horses. Now, she had a horse trailer, but it would only take 2 of her horses.
Mm-hmm.
So her and her friend took the smaller horse and shoved it in the back seat of her car.
Yeah, I saw that. Forrest
But,
looking
you know,
out the
it's
window.
funny. It shows you the love of somebody that has a pet.
I'd do it.
She wasn't leaving that. But she did squeeze it in. Look at that.
Yeah.
You can show that picture,
Yeah.
too.
I'd
Yes,
stick a
I
horse
saw
in
that.
your car.
I put a video up too. I don't know if you've seen it. I thought I sent it to you with two guys escaping that fire, and that fire was on both sides of them.
Yeah, and they
one
drove
of them,
through it?
Yeah, did you
Yeah,
see where
yeah, I
he
saw that.
had to open the gate? One of them,
Yeah.
get back in, and there was at times they couldn't even see. They said, but they videotaped that whole thing. That had to be frightening.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it was like you either sit there and burn to death or get out of there.
That's it.
And
One or the other.
that's what they were doing. There's some great stories with that fire. There was one family that they had a dog they've had for quite a while, and they couldn't find him at the time. He panicked. So when they got to go back up there, they figured they were going to go up and look for his remains and bury him. They got there, and that dog came out and was totally fine.
Yeah. You got lucky.
There was one dog that wouldn't leave with them. He stayed with some baby sheep there, or goats that they adopted, that they were rescuing. He wouldn't leave, and he was fine. He was singed a little. So there's some good stories from that fire where,
Yeah.
with animals especially, I seen where there was a fire. Since I'm leading this, I guess we'll talk about animals right now. There was a
stories.
fire a couple nights ago, and they couldn't figure out where the dog was. Now, she was a female. They didn't see her coming in and out. She was rescuing her puppies, and she was putting them on either the step of something, but she rescued every one of her puppies. Now, she did
Good for
get
her.
burned a little, but she wasn't leaving her babies to die.
That's a mother's love for you.
So it shows you animals are very, very smart. They're not idiots.
No, that's a natural instinct that Mother Nature has provided our wildlife. And unfortunately, these storms, fires, eliminates a lot of the wildlife that's already endangered because there's not a lot of them. But can you imagine the wildlife loss down in Puerto Rico?
Well, we're going to have a lot of lives. They're just gone. I mean, thank God for the guy that does that one car, Tesla. He came in with power packs to get their electricity.
Oh, good for him.
So
Yeah.
he's been in there, and a lot of people they just can't get to. But, our great president, it's just kind of sad. I mean, there's that story with the young black guy that was in the service. There's more to that story, they said, because they didn't find him with the other 3 guys.
Yeah.
And there's some
there's
kind
an
of signal
investigation.
where they didn't even go look for him, anybody. They didn't give these guys, Alpha would know more about it than me because he probably read up on it. I thought I sent that to you guys too. I thought you would do your homework.
Well,
But do you know what I'm talking about, Alpha, with the guy, the young...
well, according to the press release, they had visited this particular area once before with absolutely no problem. Then when they went back, it was an ambush. So just from those 2 pieces of information, it sounded like they were set up,
Yeah.
sold out. Even it could be by a so-called friendly, another a person from that country who is working with the American forces. He's a double agent.
Yeah, were there any Kurdish fighters killed? Because that's who we're partnering with in this whole thing, right?
I don't know if there were Kurdish fighters killed, but according to the releases, there were like 50, not Al Qaeda, there were 50 ISIS members waiting on them with grenade launchers and all kind of crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But why did they not bring him out for 2 days? Why was he?
They couldn't find him.
Yeah. But they said he had some kind of signal thing with him. I was hearing something last night.
Or
They
the
just think
tracking.
yeah, they think
Yeah.
something strange about this.
Well, I'm sure it is. Now, to add salt to injury, then your knucklehead president, made this comment that's kind of taking all the oxygen out of the room as well. So he knew what he signed up for, but I guess it's still painful.
But didn't he say he had audio proof that
Yeah, that's
that
what
they
he
were
said.
lying on him?
Oh, they ain't
If they
lying
were-
because the mother even
The mothers
said.
even collaborated.
And the woman, that one woman she's in the,
She's a congressional member.
she was sitting in the car.
Yeah.
He knows what he said because he's the idiot. I'd like to know what he said to the white mothers. That's what and then that other one where he said he was giving them $25,000.
Yeah.
He sure sent it yesterday.
Yeah,
It's on
because
its
it got
way.
busted. Yeah,
Yeah, because he was shamed into it. He was forced to.
sure.
And see, these are the types of people that these so-called Christians, these so-called high and mighty Republicans adhere to. This is the biggest adulterer, the biggest liar, the biggest grifter. And the Christians, they love him.
Well, they're hypocrites.
So-
Not all Christians do, though.
Yeah, those that do are
Well, we know which-
hypocrites.
we know
and-
which
and
Christians
they're
I'm
not
talking
true
about.
Christians.
Yeah, we do know.
I'm talking about the Pat Robertson evangelical Republican excuses. All of those Christians. Those are the Christians, the Value Summit. It has to be numbing for people to hear that and them call themselves that. And I think that helps their brand along.
Mm-hmm.
The more they can infuriate honest people,
Mm-hmm.
and the more they can grift. Just like our good friend Spyboy. He knows he's lying. He knows what he's doing is trolling to see what type of response and how can he upset people or basically get a reaction from people by simply just lying. Just lying and denying.
Is that what you're doing, Spy Boy?
No.
Well, let's hear your take on this with this soldier. Let's hear your take on what Trump said and what Trump says he didn't say.
I think he's taking a difficult situation and making it worse by parsing his words. You're playing politics when the congressman was in the car.
Yes.
Using his words to attack him. This is an awful situation. It should not be played into politics.
So you think the grieving mother that's laying over the casket, which is a photo we're going to
Heart-wrenching.
see for years,
Yeah.
do you think she's lying? You think she wasn't really
We
feeling
haven't
the
heard
pain
from
of what
her.
he said?
Yeah, we
We
have her.
haven't heard from her.
Yeah, she's come out.
Yeah.
She's come out publicly and said, and she collaborates what the congresswoman said that the president said. So she said, yes, that's exactly what he said. And the conversation was on a speakerphone in the car, so everybody in the car heard the conversation.
He referred to the soldier as your guy. He had absolutely no idolatry of empathy, sympathy, and
Probably
none
didn't
of the
remember his
above.
name.
He didn't know his name.
No, not at all.
So-
And the Congresswoman, Frederica Wilson, her personal stake in all of this is that she knew the young man since he was, 12, 13 years old.
Right, right.
Right. And see, in the neighborhoods back there, she had some mentoring programs and some programs for children, and she's known her and him and the family for years. So it's just like an extended family member.
Yeah.
when you lose someone like that. And that's why when I heard on other programs, she's so highly emotionally charged, because I know when you invest into a child and the child grows up to serve the country and to go into the military and make the rank in this situation of sergeant, and now we have these cloak and dagger about why they take so long and everything else, it pains you. So
Sure.
her being a part of it is just like losing probably her own son, her own nephew, or anything along those lines. And see, that's what's missing when it comes to 45. When you watch his reaction the very next day, he has his arms folded. He's very defensive. He's like, I spoke to the lady. Once again, go back to what you said, Lee. Didn't even know the man's name and couldn't even say it because he didn't know it.
Yeah, wasn't prepared because it's
No,
not
not at all.
important. See, if it's something important to you, you will make sure that you are front and center and on top of the content before you engage. It's no big deal. It's just a
I
phone
don't think
call.
he cared about any of those
No,
soldiers.
I'm
None
the
of them.
president, and they're going to be impressed with me calling.
Right.
That's again goes back to his huge ego, and it's wrong. It's wrong.
And not one
Insensitive.
congressional hearing as to what happened, why it happened, and that 4 Americans died in the malfeasance.
Yeah. What's the early stages of an investigation going on right now?
And did they even have weapons with them?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Of course, they had weapons. They
Yeah.
had their rifles.
Yeah, they're in the battle zone.
They're in the battle zone, but the ISIS folks had grenade launchers and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
There were other people hurt too.
Oh yeah.
I would like to hear the conversation of the other 3 calls that he made to the other families, and then he got busted. About the $25,000 check that he promised the family
they said
back
that
in
was
June.
going out yesterday.
Yeah. I guess he forgot. The check is in the mail. Oh, give me a break.
And everything
what
goes
about-
back to Obama that he does. He's always
Oh,
got to
of course.
compare Obama.
Yeah.
Why is he so hateful? What has Obama did to him?
Made him look like a fool.
Oh, embarrassed him in front of the whole
world.
country. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he set himself up for that. Obama didn't do anything to him.
Yes, but
Obama was just hitting him back after this fool's.
evil people don't consider they've done anything wrong.
Yeah.
And when you have him trying to undo everything that Obama has done through executive order, after the hypocrites of Spy Boys Network, the Fox News Network, were so crazy about executive orders, and does he think he's a king, and this is illegal and unconstitutional. Well, what about Donald Trump? He's done more executive orders in 9 months than Obama has done in 8 years. And not one peep from the hypocrites from the right.
Well, he said Medicare's next. He's going to do, what is it? What was he's going to give you, like, you get so much a month to
voucher?
pay a voucher.
voucher?
Yes. I don't
A
get
voucher?
that. Yes.
I tell you what. Let me go on record right now. You mess with my Social Security, my Medicare, you're going to see this black man on CNN, okay? I'm going ape shit crazy. I paid my money, all my working life into it. I want my damn money back. That was the deal. Don't change the deal. I'm telling you now.
Well, ask Spy Boy about that. He'll tell you. America has never changed.
Yeah,
and
Spy
broken
Boy,
a
are you
deal.
going to lose your insurance?
I ain't losing nothing.
No,
I
I
might
mean,
lose my mind.
I mean Spy Boy with the insurance the way he wants to do it, because the insurance that he's going to make where everybody can afford doesn't really cover anything. And if you have an existing condition, they can charge you whatever they want. Also, I think when you work for somebody, they don't have to give you insurance.
And you in Louisiana, Spy Boy, you have what is called a pre-existing condition. And just like they didn't extend Medicaid to the poor, you're in that category now. You're part of the poor. And if you have, what is it, Parkinson's? Forget me not.
And so everybody else is supposed to be responsible for me?
Well, if you're cool with that, Spy Boy, I guess I'm cool with it too. And
Spy
listen,
Boy.
let me say this. I'm concerned about your health care, okay? As another human being, we've never met. You've been a faithful caller on this show, even back in the days of U.S. Talk Network. And I love you.
And I enjoyed beating the hell out of you.
Yeah. And I love you and I respect you and I appreciate your sticking with this show and everything that I've been involved with. But and I'm concerned about your health care. You have a serious disease that needs attention. And maybe you're in good shape financially and you don't need any assistance. But if you need it, I want to make sure that you have access to it, that you can afford whatever the cost might be. And if we can work it out, it doesn't cost you anything, wouldn't that make you feel better? I mean, really.
It makes me feel bad that other people are going to be responsible for paying my bills.
So, paying your bills? No, we're not talking about your bills. We're talking about your health
care.
We're
not talking about your bills, Spy Boy. You haven't worked anywhere in your life? Have you worked ever?
I work.
And if you have worked ever, then you've paid into Medicare. And if that's an insurance policy, you are entitled to that. You paid it.
Are you 62 or older?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you can't get the benefits of Medicare?
No.
Okay.
But he can get Medicaid.
Right. Do you have health insurance?
Yes.
Okay. And you can afford to pay it?
Yes.
Does it give you the coverage that you need to get the kind of care that you need for the kind of disease that you have?
I'm well cared for.
Okay, then you're good.
I don't want for much.
Okay, well you're good. I'm glad to hear that.
Nobody's going to be good with his new insurance plan except the rich.
Well, I mean, he's in good shape. He said he has no problems. He's got good health care insurance. He obviously can afford to pay the premiums, whatever it is. So you're good. You're blessed. But there are millions and millions more people not in that situation.
Yeah, my daughter's one of them.
And so you don't give a damn about them.
No.
Wow, it's pretty cold.
I don't have malice towards anybody.
I'm sorry?
But I don't have malice towards anyone.
Okay. But, I mean, it seems to me that because of the kind of disease that you have, there's another person out there that has the same thing that you have, but don't have the health care insurance that you have. Shouldn't they have access to health care? Or should they just die?
You should have access to whatever you can afford.
So if you can't afford it, then you should just die.
Well, that's what happens. I want a Cadillac. I can't afford a Cadillac.
Yeah, but you don't need a Cadillac.
I think you need to see a therapist. You seem very angry for some reason.
He's not angry. He's just being a troll. This is what trolls do. I don't care what you say to him or whatever point you make to him, he's going to come back on the other side of it with pure stupidity. He can be a demagogue, he can be a troll, whatever. His only job is to make it controversial and see what type of response he can get from being a total naysayer.
Is that what you are, Spy Boy, or are you just a selfish fool?
I'm neither one of those.
So how would
a regular guy
mm-hmm.
trying to make my way through life. But I have a problem when we take from one person to give to another. It's not right.
So who's taking from me and giving it to the military budget, increasing it? Who's taking from me, Spy Boy, and giving it to the judges who are overpaid, the politicians who are overpaid? Who's taking my tax dollars and putting them into charter schools that I don't support? You know, Spy Boy, your arguments are so easily debunked and taken apart and torn down that you should really think about what you're saying.
Alpo, coming from you, I think that's a compliment.
Well,
Thank you.
let me ask you this, Bob.
I mean it like that.
Do you think that we should pay taxes?
As little as possible.
And whatever amount that we pay, what should be done with those dollars? How should it be
Should
spent?
be gone it should go to the military.
100%?
Some should go to pay. Some should go to pay for our leadership. I think they do pay. There are very few things that the Department of Education is too much. Why do we have a National Department of Education? The money goes to pay political favors.
Well, let's assume for a second that you're right in that last statement. The fact of the matter is we could fix that. If dollars that we are spending, through paying taxes are not being spent properly, that can be fixed. But to say that we shouldn't spend money on education and military and whatever else, I think that's wrong. I mean, because if we don't, then we won't have those services. I mean, whatever street you live on, that street needs to be paved from time to time. Potholes might be there. You might have problems with the drainage in Louisiana because most of that place is sea level or below. So those kind of things need to be taken care of, repaired, maintained, improved.
Schools, everything. That's where tax money goes.
Right.
Did you watch the debate between Bernie Sanders and Cruz?
Did I?
Yeah, it was last night.
Yeah, I did not. I heard
Sanders
a short
was
piece.
good.
I heard a short piece of it in the car. I was listening to CNN in my car, but that was all I was able to catch.
Because a lot of what we're talking about was talked about.
Yeah. Did you watch it, Spy Boy?
No.
Well, you
No, we
should have.
didn't.
Alfo, did you?
No, I didn't.
Chris?
I'm not a Bernie Sanders fan.
You didn't have to be. It was just
It was a town hall.
to watch Cruz and him.
Yeah. What about Ted Cruz? What do you think of him?
I thought they were both good, but I think Sanders was very much a gentleman, and Cruz. And questions that audience asked. There was a guy actually, I think he was in, who's chewing? Put your food away, Alpha.
What?
Bible.
I have
This
any
is
food?
my
That's
show
Spy
today.
Boy? Okay.
Spy Boy,
I'll
quit
turn Spy
chewing.
Boy
Put
down.
the grilled cheese sandwich away.
I'm going to tell her that.
It's really
Monday.
something you might want to play parts of it.
Yeah.
Because the guy, I think he talked about, was it taxes and different things about why you need to pay taxes. And you don't need to make them less for people. You need to make the rich pay more. And that's what Sanders was trying to say is, why shouldn't, and there was a wealthy man there. I actually believe he felt that he should pay more. He owned a business and he wasn't going to leave that to his kids.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, he felt they should be responsible and learn how to do things because he was very successful in his business. But
Okay.
he
How
felt
much- how much
taxes
is-
the
how much-
wealthy
how much
should
is too
pay,
much?
and he was super wealthy.
Yeah.
How much
So it
does
was
the rich pay?
interesting.
How much is what?
How much should the rich pay?
I don't know. I don't worry
They should
about
pay
what they
their
pay. I
fair
know what
share.
I pay.
Wait a minute. They should pay their fair share. You see, Spy Boy,
Yeah,
here's the deal. There's already a set limit that people should pay in taxes. Now, when you are able to get out from under paying your fair share, capital gains taxes are 15%, which is like 20% less than a normal working person pays. That's money making money. Paying your fair share is simply paying your fair share. When you ask the speciously couched question, how much should they pay? Whatever they pay is not going to change one iota of how they live, where they live, and the standard of living.
How
And
would
that's
you know?
something that you simply will not.
How would you know?
How would you not know? Because they're rich.
Yeah, because I have a very wealthy client. She's in what they call the blue book. And she's all for this. She doesn't care about us, anybody, just them having more and more and more.
Yeah.
And
the numbers,
that's very
Bob.
greedy.
Hey,
The top 1% of taxpayers pay 43% of taxes.
Okay.
No, they don't pay what they should. They look for write-offs. They'll go out and buy a business that they know, like somebody wealthy might go buy iHeart right now because they know it's failing. So that's a big write-off for them.
It's a huge write-off.
Yeah, so
That's a
they
And that's
know
why
that-
they do it.
that's what
$21
they
billion.
do.
You
They-
got to be crazy rich to
Well,
write that
that's
off.
what they look for, though.
Yeah.
They look for that.
Yeah. I'd let that one fail. Shit. The hell with
But
iHeart.
it's like Weinstein right now. Look at people coming forward wanting to buy that company.
Yeah.
Because possibly that company might fail now because, but I still feel that these women are just as guilty. They got a big acting career out of it. So
Yeah.
What are you crying about? Nobody told you to lay on your back. What do you think of that, Spy
The
Boy?
issue is who pays taxes in this country? The top 5% pay.
I pay taxes. I don't
30%
think
of
middle
the taxes.
class exists like we used to. But I used to pay.
The
I had to
majority
pay
of
a
the people
lot
in
of
this country
taxes.
pay some level of taxes.
Half the country doesn't pay taxes at all.
Okay, so they're in an income bracket that doesn't afford them to do that. Those are the only ones. And there's some of the rich don't pay any taxes at all, like your president.
And every time something goes wrong or something, they just file bankruptcy.
Yeah, walk away from the responsibility.
I had a client where they went after her husband because that's what he'd do. He'd get people to invest in companies, and then he'd do a bankruptcy on them.
Yeah, then your credit is jacked up. For
Or he
7
would
to
take
10
their
years.
pension plans and put it into another business of his and things he did. Just all kinds of crooked. But you know what? He went to prison for what, a year? Milliken, how long did he go to prison?
Yeah,
The bonds, and he wasn't. And then they turn around, he gets out of prison, and they give him all these government stuff that they're going to give him the money to build this or that. I thought with the type of crime record he had, he couldn't be given that. I
Yeah.
know I wouldn't be given that.
it was a federal crime,
Yeah.
and it was a felony. He did his time, but then he was able to come out and get government loans.
Yeah, no,
That's
he
bullshit.
built these some kind of houses or that. He got the loans.
Oh boy!
I had another client. Her husband
Welcome to America.
was part of it, and I mean, on their property, they had their own cleaners. They had everything on that. So when it all started happening, she calls me and she goes, I said, well, I'm sure they're listening to you on the phone. I would suggest, since they're listening, get what you can out of that house now. So, like idiots, she gives her jewelry to somebody, but they got memory loss about that jewelry after.
Oops.
They were so wealthy. You might not believe this story.
How
they were
wealthy were
so
they?
wealthy. He was able to transplant somebody's scalp on his head and have hair. I always wondered when he went to prison, though, because it wasn't going to grow. Don't they shave him?
Yeah, they do. Shave
I
your
always
head.
wondered about that because I did run into her once at a prep school my son was going to.
Mm-hmm.
It was after all this because I didn't do her any longer. And she was sitting there, and I said hi to her that. And she wasn't living in that big, huge mansion up in Holmby Hills because you've seen those houses.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a trip what they get away with.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she was dumb to it all. She
Well-
was a woman that married a guy that was super. You should see the jewelry they gave me as gifts.
Yeah. Nice stuff, huh?
Very nice. But I don't wear jewelry.
Listen, I have paid crazy taxes and didn't want to, but I did. Did it stop me from doing some of the things that I wanted to do? Not really. It would have been nice to have that extra few $100,000 in the bank, but I paid it. And that's that.
Don't move it.
Can't cry over spilt milk.
That's you at your physical.
Oh, that's messed up.
I gave him a picture of him getting his, is it your prostate check?
Yeah, it looks like he got a water hose up the guy's butt. Spy Boy must be rich or he's pulling our leg.
BSing. Oh, he's BSing, okay?
Yeah.
It's got to be one or the other.
Yeah, because I
He's-
bet you he does the same thing. He calls a Republican show and talks the opposite.
Spy Boy, do you call other
No.
talk shows?
No. Yours is the most accessible show that available to me. Someone like me.
So do they kick you off sometimes?
You've been kicked off other talk shows?
No.
Andre Egliston asked about you about a week ago. You remember Andre?
You have to tell Andre I said hello.
I will.
Send him my regards.
I will. I will do that.
Now, are you married? Do you have children?
Not married, never had children.
You've never been married?
Never been married.
I can understand that. You're
can
probably a
understand
difficult
that, too.
person to live with.
Especially the part about no children.
Spy Boy is a trip. You're a real character. Welcome to the show of characters.
I try.
Yes, you do a damn
No,
good
but
job.
listen,
You don't need to try anymore.
Stop trying
you
so
look
hard.
at you look at people's income.
Uh-huh.
People take their free time and they just dedicate it to work. Then you come along and want to tax them. Why should I bother working? Pay you. I can just stay at home.
You know, it's funny you say that. I used to have a very wealthy man. He was I guess they call him sugar daddies. I didn't. He was just somebody I dated. But you know what he used to tell me? Because he was so rich. You can't be rich being totally legal. He told me you have to do illegal stuff to be totally rich. So a lot of things they do is so crooked. Believe me.
That's interesting.
And he was a firm believer in that, and he was filthy rich.
Well, and that doesn't surprise me because people who are rich have done some scurvy shit to take advantage of situations like our president. You know?
Yes.
And we still don't know how rich he is, but we do know that
Well, he's not as big as he used to be, Forbes
Right.
just announced.
exactly. And I feel sorry for him. I'm really, I stayed up late last night worrying about how much money Donald Trump has.
Yeah, you sound broken up about that.
I'm
Yeah.
distraught. I'm
Yeah,
concerned. I mean, I want my president to look good, feel good, and have all the wealth that he can have.
Well, you definitely stop at the looking good part.
Oh,
In the
my
meantime, though,
God.
there are some real people out here getting hurt by the tax policies of this country.
Now, who is that? Who's being hurt by it?
Who are these real people being hurt by taxes? Who are they?
People making $250 or more.
They're what now? Making what?
$250,000 or more are being hurt by the tax burden that we currently have.
That's not even the middle. That's not rich.
Well, let me tell you how I feel about
Middle
the
class is the one like you. They're the ones paying.
tax situation. Listen, I believe that we should pay as little as possible, as long as it does not impact on the growth and the ability to pay the country's bills. So, at what point, at what level, what is that number? What percentage is that number? And on what category of people based on their income is that number? It seems to me that there should be some mathematician, some economist that has a handle on that number. If you are in the upper 1%, what should we tax that group? If you're making, $2 million a year, what should that group be taxed? $500,000, $250,000, whatever, all the way down to zero. It seems to me that there is a formula. There are a group of tax percentages that should be put in place, and that should be equal to the ability of running the country or running the state or the city or the county. So why is that so damn hard to do? it seems to me that if smart people sat in a room with good computers and come up with these numbers and project it out for the next 50 freaking years, there shouldn't be no argument from Democrats or Republicans about what that tax percentage should be. Why is that so freaking hard? And the same thing about health care. Same thing about education. And anything else for that matter. The numbers don't lie. Ultimately, there's a freaking number that makes sense. My name is Lee Michaels, and I'm not running for president.
There should be a limit as to what they can tax you.
Well, there is a limit. There are limits now.
Maybe 25%.
There
should be taxed.
Well, you get taxed on what you make.
There is a limit. We have a limit now. You can't just go in and charge anybody 75%. There is a cap. What the problem is right now is some people are not happy with that cap. They want to lower the cap. So my question is, look, let's look at your budget in your household. Let's say you make $75,000 a year. All of your expenses add up to $45,000. Your gross revenue is $75,000. You're not netting $75,000. Okay? So whatever your net is what you have the ability to pay your bills on. So it's the same thing with the U.S. budget, your state budget, or anything else. If you're overspending based on your income, and the major income for the government are taxes or fines. It's not like the government goes out and grows, 83 zillion acres of corn and sells it. The government is not in that business. The government buys it from public outlets. Whatever it needs to operate, it buys it from somebody else. The government manufactures very little. And sells.
The government doesn't make any money at all.
I'm sorry?
The taxes.
Yeah.
The government does not make money.
That's my point. So what is the percentage based on your income should it be to allow the government to operate so that we don't have to keep going back to Congress every year and trying to get a budget approved?
This is where we come to problems.
I
don't think that we should have an EPA.
Well,
we should not have a Department of Education. We should not have health care insurance. All those things should be up to the individual.
Should there be insurance companies?
Yes, there should be insurance companies.
Why?
Because people need insurance.
Well, why do I need to pay an insurance company to pay my medical bills if I can afford to pay them my damn self? Why not cut out the middleman?
That's the way it used to work. My folks said when I was born.
Yeah, well, healthcare has become more expensive. So some creative genius. Why? There's 1,000 reasons why. Technology costs, development of new medications and techniques, equipment, hardware, software. That stuff's got to be paid for by somebody.
Which means that we have the best healthcare system in the world.
We should. We should have that. In some respects, it is. In some respects, it isn't. The respect that where it is not is the cost of it. And here's why I have a problem with it, Spy Boy. If the manufacturer of this bottle of vitamins that I'm holding here in my hand, let's say it cost them, and I'm just going to throw a number out because I have no idea what it costs for them to manufacture this, to print the label, to buy the bottle, the cap, and put the pills in here. Let's say that's $5. I'll just use that. I have no idea what it costs. If they put this on the market for $69, that's a big spread. Do they need to put it out at $69? No, they could put it out at $12. And you know what? They'd sell a lot more of them because it's affordable to more people. Same thing with the medication that you take right now for your Parkinson's disease. I don't know what it costs, but I'm sure it's costing your insurance company and or you a significant amount of money. Do they have to sell it at that price? No. If they made it more affordable, poor people may be able to have access to the same medication that you're paying, that you're using, at a much lower cost. If Canada, our northern neighbor, can provide drugs to its citizens for less than what we are paying for it, why is it that we have to pay more for it?
We have a free society here. Canada is they have what do you call it? Royalty. They pay homage to the Queen.
Well, shit, to me, I'll pay homage to the Queen if it makes sense financially. You know? Maybe that's a better deal. Why is it that some Americans have to go up to Canada to buy drugs or to buy them and import them into America because they can't afford to pay for it here?
Why the Canadians come down in the United States to get medical care?
Well,
Because we have the best
doctors,
medical care system in the
Skyboy.
world.
Because of the doctors, they can't find that specialty in Canada. Canada has a single payer system that's working just fine, regardless of what you hear. The alt-right nationalists, libertarian like yourself, are basically dreaming of. When you say this is the world's greatest healthcare system, yeah, if you're a healthcare CEO who makes billions, if you are an insurance company who takes 23% of government taxpayer money off the top for operating expenses when the government only does 5. If you are so anti-government that you don't see the need for a VA, but you see the need for a standing army, there's something wrong with your logic. There's something wrong with the way you think. Spot Boy, I think there's something wrong with you.
I haven't said a word about the VA.
You didn't have to. The VA is government run, government sponsored. And if you're so hung up and dogma on military, then the VA is part of that. Treating those soldiers with legs and limbs and arms and missing, suffering from PTSD, all of that is your responsibility
And they get paid.
as a citizen.
The VA system is well funded.
The VA system is well funded by what? By the American taxpayers. And if
So
the
you go
VA
add more
system
taxes.
is well
You go
funded,
adding more taxes to it.
is that
Right.
are they good? Is that a good system? Is VA a good system?
Of course, it's a good system.
were you ever in the
But then
military?
Then you want
No, he
to
wasn't.
go and add more. Then you want to go add more to that. That's the problem.
Well,
More spending.
but what's the reason for adding more to the VA costs? Because there's a need for it. There's a need to cover the expenses and the medical care for these soldiers that are coming back from being jacked up in these wars that we're involved in. If we had no wars going on, the cost to run the VA would be a lot less.
That's not the additional taxes that we're talking about, though.
Wh-
Yeah,
wh-
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Climate change taxes now coming online.
We're talking
Giving
about
money
what?
to climate change. Somebody has to pay that bill.
What do you
That's a
jump
huge
to
bill.
climate change? How do you jump from that to
Climate change.
That's a topic change, is what you just did.
It's
Almost
adding
famous girl.
taxes.
Oh, gee.
Okay, let's try to stay on topic, Spy Boy. I know you're having a rough time, but We can talk about climate change, but I
But
thought
not
we were
in
talking
the-
about.
I thought we were talking about taxes.
Yes, we were talking about the cost.
military.
The
For
military.
the military.
Yeah.
And if you're for military, to spend all the money on military, you should be looking to spend the money on the VA and the health care for the fallen soldiers or the injured soldiers or for the soldiers, period, for the
Right.
veterans.
We don't have a problem paying taxes for soldiers.
You what?
We don't have a problem paying taxes for soldiers.
So okay, all right. Let's go back
It's
to
in,
my
it's in the Constitution.
right. Let's go back to my original
It's in the Constitution.
Oh, okay,
position.
all right.
What percentage do you think is a fair percentage to pay taxes?
No more than 25%.
No more than 25, and that's for
That's
everybody.
That's a quarter. That's for everybody. That's a quarter.
Straight
of your
across, no
salary.
matter how much money you make, 25%
No
of your
matter how
income.
much. No matter how much
period.
you make. No matter
Now,
how much-
okay,
flat-
okay, all right, good. Now, looking at that 25% cap on everybody, whether you're making gazillion dollars or $14,000 a year, right? How does that number work to cover all the expenses of the United States government? Does that percentage work? That's
Well,
a $64,000 question.
You stop digging a hole. You have a limit of what you can spend.
Well, of course. Absolutely. And I used a personal budget as an example. You can't live beyond your means. But what happens, let's say you got a budget, you got a 25% cap, you've got a little bit of a surplus. Let's hypothetically. I don't know if 25% works on everybody. But hypothetically, let's say you got a few $1 trillion in excess. And then all of a sudden you get all these hurricanes and natural disasters and what have you. And it eats up your surplus, and now you're upside down. What do you do then, Spy Boy?
Well, you shouldn't be borrowing money. You shouldn't be raising taxes. You cut from other programs.
But you
How
already
about cutting military?
but you
How about
already
the
cut to
military?
the bone because when you dropped it to 25%, you had to make necessary cuts and stop spending in certain areas.
There's enough money in this country to cover our costs. Should be.
Okay.
What about costs?
So what do you think of the statement that Donald Trump made when he was down there in Puerto Rico, and he says, y'all kind of threw our budget out of whack?
I don't know what the context was of his comment.
Well, he was basically complaining that he didn't want to pay for the cost of what was going on down there from the two hurricanes that they got
I
hit.
think what he's saying was that an indefinite amount of money to pay for services.
Well, he didn't say that for.
There's a lot of corruption down there in Puerto Rico.
Well, there's a lot of corruption everywhere, but you shouldn't be focused in on ignoring the need. See, there's a difference between need and poor spending, okay, or spending money on the wrong stuff. That stuff can be fixed. We've heard the comments or the government's paid $600 for a hammer or a toilet seat or some bullshit like that. Maybe that's real, maybe it's inflated. Whatever it is, if they're paying more than they should, those are the areas that you need to focus in on. Go in there and fix that first. So you're such a, our president claims to be such a great negotiator. He should be spending time negotiating with the vendors that sell products and services to the United States government to fix those deals rather than bitching and bellyaching and spending all his damn time on Twitter embarrassing this country with his buffoonery. So prove to me that you have what it takes and go do your damn job.
A little context is needed there, though. That hammer or that toilet seat were going to airplanes and had to be specially made. So there's a reason why the cost is so expensive.
Well, whatever it is, find a better way of making it cheaper. So you're telling me a special toilet seat for something that goes into an airplane, a government airplane. What is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
What is the difference between that toilet seat and the toilet seat in a Boeing 747?
Well, you're talking about a performance aircraft versus one made for comfort.
You're talking about performance aircraft?
A toilet seat? What's the damn difference? I'm gonna put my ass on it and do what I gotta do.
Yeah, because I've
What's the
flown
difference?
first class, and that toilet
It-
seat no
no
different,
different than the one in
coach.
coach.
Right.
Just
So,
a
Spy
toilet
Boy,
seat.
look.
You just
Wait a minute,
drop.
your ass is a performance? Sitting down on the toilet?
Spy Boy, when you're dead, you don't know you're dead. It's just tough on the people you
No,
leave
recently
behind.
they said you do know
The
when
same
you're
is
dead.
for when you're stupid.
I don't want to know.
I don't pretend to know what goes into these aircraft.
You just said it, man. Either you know or you don't know. If you don't know, you shouldn't raise it. You know,
The fact that they have different parameters for the toilet seats.
What could
is
be
minutiae.
different? What could be different? What, does it have like a bidet built into it? I mean, what are we talking here? No, Spy Boy. That dog won't hunt. You just
And you guys don't want to know the truth. You just want to have your own version of the truth.
no. You ain't gonna do that. Nope. I'm not gonna let you get away
we
with
don't
that
want to
one.
have a stupid. We don't want to have a stupid. That's what we don't.
Right. We're not gonna go for the okie doke.
Well, it's the
Well,
truth.
it's straight.
There are things that, and then look at the way, and this is across party lines. Look at the way they appropriate these new airplanes. They have a park built in every state in the country so that you can't cancel the plane. It's not about the performance of the plane. It's about getting a contract that you can't dissolve.
I'm not sure I
And-
understood that. What are you saying?
He's not me. He don't make any
The
sense.
new one of the new aircraft, the new aircraft is not the best aircraft. Best
Spy
aircraft
Boy,
they
why
stopped
don't
making.
you?
What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
well, why don't you-
Military aircraft? Are we talking military? Okay.
Yes.
So one of our fighter
fighter
planes,
jet.
one of our new fighter planes is not what? One of the best?
It's not as good. Not as it's not the best.
That would be the
No.
F-35.
It's not the
And
best
it
aircraft.
can't fly. It can't fly in the rain. It hasn't flown one combat mission. Spy Boy, why don't you go shit in somebody else's program, huh? Jesus. Hey, I can't ignorance. Here. Take this napkin. You got some bullshit on your lips. Okay. You got to be one of the most incredibly stupid people I've ever come across. Retarded doesn't frame what you are.
Like I say, Alfo, it's
Jeez.
a compliment coming from you.
I know. That's why I'm complimenting you so vigorously.
Well, you can do it.
Oh Lord, have mercy. All right, Spy Boy, we're gonna let you go eat your sandwich. And
Oh, he threw eating that sandwich. That's probably government cheese he's using on that damn grilled cheese. Spy Boy, you are just
Probably not.
probably
You
not.
probably not. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, we'll see. Will somebody said
Spy Boy,
next week?
are you employed right now?
No, I'm unemployed and I need a job.
Okay, what kind of
I
work?
need my own radio.
What kind of work are
need
you
my own radio
qualified to do?
I need my own
I'm
radio
gonna find you a
program.
job.
Well,
Spy
you can
Boy.
have a radio program. We'll sell you some time here on the Power Voices, and you can do your
I'm
thing.
gonna find you a job, Spy Boy, even if it ain't nothing but sticking your nose in a Republican's ass. I'm gonna find you a job.
What kind of work would you like to do? Maybe there's somebody out there right now listening or watching
I'm
the
kind of
show.
limited to what I can do because I don't have the balance. I don't have the stamina to do much.
Okay, so what do you?
Yeah.
Based on your limited ability, what can you do?
I could talk on the radio.
Okay,
I know what else you can do, Spy Boy.
I think you should go
You-
on with Jesse.
ooh,
I think you should go sit by that tree that they gonna hang your ass on down there. You just
No,
hang in
they're
there.
not going to hang Spy Boy. Spy Boy's one of them.
You want to bet? Go sit by that tree, Spy Boy.
Spy Boy's
Set
one
your
of
name
them.
on it.
He's good. He's got the.
Alpo. My father and I were born in the same country. We were born in different countries.
Your what?
Did you know that? My father and I were
What did
born
you
in the
s-
same country. We were born in different countries.
Where
Your
were you
father-
born?
I was born in Southeast Louisiana. Same place
That's
my
a
father was
state,
born.
not a. That's a state.
Okay. So what's
Where
your?
was your dad born? In what country?
In the United States.
You just said you were both born in different countries.
See
Yes.
what I mean? See what I mean? The boy needs help.
Now there's a subliminal thing here that he's pushing on. What? So bring it on out, Spy Boy. Tell us what you're really saying.
My father grew up in the conditions that Alpo was talking about. Or you could be hung by a tree. He thinks it's a funny joke. It's not funny. There's implications there.
Spy Boy, I'll tell you
So,
what's
yeah.
funny.
So, but before you do that, Alpo, you're right in that things have changed greatly. And I had a discussion with a friend this morning about that very thing. But the conversation was stemmed from Colin Kaepernick, and what he was protesting is different than what was being protested back in the 50s and 60s and even parts of the 70s.
To help me out, what is he protesting then?
He's protesting, he's trying to bring attention to the fact that the criminal justice system is not fair, that our police departments and practically all over the country treat people of color differently than they treat other people. That's a fact. It's not
Is it a
something made
fact?
up. It's not fake news. It's none of that.
It's fake.
Okay? It's not. Listen, I'm
It is.
a living witness to it. I've been treated unfairly by police officers. And I have police officers that are friends. I had roommates that were police officers. So I get it.
So how much prison time did you spend?
I haven't spent any prison time.
Why
But
not?
why? Because I wasn't
not?
guilty of what
Why
these cops were trying to make me
All
guilty of.
All right. I'm sorry.
And I've been stopped on traffic violations. I've been faced with some very cordial and respectable police officers, and I've had people that have been assholes and trying to intimidate me. And because I'm smarter than the average bear and an IQ 2 points above plant life, I was smart enough to know not to allow them to take me where they wanted to take me.
So we had to dumb down policing to the level of what?
I'm sorry?
Alpha?
Sorry, Kira.
I had to
We have
dumb
to dumb down the policing.
No,
What
it's not-
level?
it wasn't about dumbing them down. I had to be cool, calm, and collected to keep my ass from being beat up in an area that I could have come up missing, and nobody would have
I'm
known
sorry,
where I
sir.
was.
Carol, I want to officially apologize to you for this clown coming in and leaving a big hunk of gooey shit in the middle of the program, okay? I want to apologize to you for that.
Alpo has nothing to add to this conversation. Why is he here?
I love it.
He's
Spy
probably
Boy.
saying the same thing about you, Spy Boy. So y'all,
Exactly.
Spy Boy,
Exactly,
you want to
Spy.
do a radio show? I'll talk to you later, and we'll hook that up because you deserve to have your own bovine show. What
Then I can
what
come
would
to
you
your
call the show?
programming.
I think it should be Alpha
And Spy
together.
Boy.
Yeah, I'll come into your show and shit, okay, Spy Boy?
I'd be happy to have you, Alpo.
Well, let me ask you a
I'll
question.
be there. You
Spy-
know I'll be there.
Spy Boy, what would you name your show?
I don't know, because I wonder about that myself on a daily basis. What would I talk about?
I got a
It all
name.
come
I
down
got
to
a
race.
name for you, Spy Boy. I got a name for you. It's called Shit and Circumstances.
That's kind of got a little je ne sais quoi to it.
We've Leave Spy Boy alone.
Alpha would be the comic relief.
Leave what you say, Carol. Leave him alone.
No, he's just giving his opinion.
He came in. He walked into the lion's den.
He
He
did.
walk, Carol,
He
he
did.
come in.
He do.
He come in.
But you know, you
and
got to
he just hit
hand
in the
it to
head.
him because you haven't run him off.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not
No, he
going to
ain't
run
gonna
him
run
off.
him off. He won't run. He'll sit right here and take that beating.
That's right.
He's that stupid, Carol. Well, you'll get to know him. Just hang around a little longer.
He's a trip.
You
All
may
right,
think
Spy
I'm
Boy,
being
you,
hard on
You
him,
guys
but
have made
that's
me
what I
hungry.
do.
I might have to leave to go eat
you want
now.
a grilled cheese
I
sandwich?
love
Yeah,
grilled cheese.
Fix her grilled cheese with that government cheese, Spy Boy.
That you got for free.
No government cheese. But it's a good sandwich, delicious sandwich. It's a grilled ham, egg, and cheese sandwich.
I don't eat pork.
Swiss cheese.
Mm.
What?
I don't eat
What,
pork,
you-
but the cheese sounds good.
What you got? Some
wrong
hog
pork?
head cheese there?
What did
What's wrong with
you?
hog head cheese?
What kind of
What kind of
cheese?
cheese?
What is hoghead cheese?
Oh, that's some nasty
Hog head
stuff.
Hog
cheese.
head.
Hog head
it's-
cheese is it's like the sauce.
Yeah.
And like I say about sauce, if you put it into the microwave, it turns into pig snot.
It does.
Is it made from a pig?
Yeah, it's by
Yeah, it is.
What's it
is.
made from? What part of the pig?
It
Oh, the
does
head.
all kinds.
This is hog.
Yeah.
It's just
Why would they call it
Scraps.
cheese?
because it sounds better than calling it hog scraps.
Oh.
Ground up hogs and hog snot and mucus
That's
and
what
all
and
kind of
it's
stuff.
delicious.
If you
No, it's
But
nasty.
it's
put it
not
in
a
the
cheese, 'cause
microwave.
cheese is dairy.
Yeah, well,
if you put it in the
It's-
microwave, it'll turn to hog snot. I'm
Oh,
telling you.
God.
it will. It'll liquefy.
It does.
Yeah,
Have you eaten it?
Yeah.
I've seen it. No, I've
seen-
never eaten
No,
it.
I won't eat
Where
it.
do they buy that at?
In the grocery store.
Carol, you can go to the grocery store. You can go to any grocery store and ask them, where's your hog head cheese or your sauce? And when they take you over there to it, take your barf bag over there with you,
Yeah,
okay?
it's nasty looking.
What does it look like?
Ground
I'm
up,
gonna
ground up
pull it
hog,
up. I'm
hog
gonna
crap.
Google it.
It's
In
hog.
Yeah,
Delaware.
Google it, Carol. Yeah, there you go. Google it.
I'm gonna Google it.
Get your bucket next to you so you can throw
Hog head cheese.
Hog head
Hog
cheese.
head cheese.
it.
I
You
thought you
don't
were
have
to be
talking about some good old American cheese or,
So that's what you
Cheese
made
cheese.
your grilled cheese with hog head cheese?
yeah, that's nasty.
No, that's not what I'm
not to
saying.
be confused with hog head, mother.
Swiss cheese, egg, and ham. And butter.
Will they even
Uh-huh.
have recipes with it?
Mm-mm. You see it? Yeah, take your sunglasses off on that one. You want to see this clearly.
And if you look real close in the pussy little liquid parts of it,
Yeah, it looks like
there's
snot.
some shit crawling around
Wow.
in
Head cheese. There's head cheese and
Yeah.
hog head.
it. Head cheese, yeah.
It's originated in Europe,
Of course.
and they pickle it with vinegar.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Oh gosh.
Well, Spy Boy, if you have a talk show, that's the name of your talk show, Hog Head Cheese.
So it's actually
I love that.
it's a cold cut. It's pickled.
Hog, yeah.
Oh, it's cold. It got to be
Yeah,
cold if
yeah.
it's
What
warm.
is sauce?
Is-
Pickled with vinegar is known as sauce.
Yeah.
Head cheese is not a dairy cheese, but a terrine meat jelly made from the flesh from the head of a calf or a pig. Oh,
Meat,
There you go.
Meat,
Pomel- oh
jelly.
man, who could eat that?
That's worse. That's worse than spam.
Do you make your own hog head cheese?
No, I
He
don't.
could.
I don't.
I could
I
give you a
never tried it.
recipe I just found if you want to make your own.
No, that's all right. I don't have to deal with the hog head.
It can be a calf too.
He could
It's
make
actually
his own
considered a
hog-head
cold
cheese.
cut.
Yeah, it is.
Get that boy
Oh.
a hammer. He can make his own
Comes
hog
in like a
head
loaf.
cheese.
And you slice it and
I see the
Oh.
little.
do all that shit.
Who
See the
eats
loaf,
that?
sir.
Spy boy. That's why he's crazy.
Oh.
It goes straight to the brain. Insane in the membrane.
Oh, it's a
Spy boy,
spicy
you-
appetizer mold made of pork roast. It's,
Spy
oh,
boy,
it's great. Do you eat it with crackers?
You eat with crackers, saltine,
Oh gosh,
delicious.
that's disgusting. They must have to grind it, huh?
Yeah, it's all ground up. And,
Oh, yeah.
You know, yeah.
Oh, yeah. yeah.
Now, Spy boy, let me ask you a question. Do you eat spam?
I've never had spam.
No. Okay. That's a big
But
deal.
you had
over-
hoghead cheese.
Yeah, right.
Some Yankees eat.
No, it's actually pretty popular in Hawaii, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's a big Hawaiian. thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not big on that either. What about
They like pig in
sardines?
Hawaii. No, I never had sardines.
Never had them?
No.
I've had them,
You
but I'm
down
not
in
a fan of them.
Louisiana?
Yeah, really,
We
right?
don't eat sardines down here, man. We have too much seafood down here, man.
That is seafood.
What about those canned, what they call pronounced Vienna sausages?
Vienna sausages? Yeah,
Yankee food.
Yankee food.
Yankee food, okay.
So what's a typical breakfast for you?
Egg, ham, and cheese sandwich. I eat oatmeal, cream of wheat.
Yeah, I like cream of wheat.
I can stomach that if you put some cinnamon and brown sugar and some raisins or something in it. But
We'll hook it up for you.
hmm?
You won't leave New Orleans hungry. Come see me.
Well, I'm sure.
You
I,
won't
backing you
leave
up.
New Orleans hungry.
I understand. I'm from the South also.
Really?
Does it really melt though if you put it in the microwave?
Yeah, because it's a gelatin that holds it together. It's like scraps of hog shit.
Is
Yes.
that a Southern thing?
Nah, it must be.
I mean, it comes from Europe.
Yeah, well, the Europeans brought that crap over. And it probably, kept pretty well on those ships coming over
Look what somebody did to be funny.
with a little bit of mold and stuff on it. But,
This is what he's seen his first day
How
of
can
working.
you tell with the mold in it?
yeah, exactly. It didn't matter. They ate it anyway. That was flavor.
This guy, his first day at work,
What the hell is that?
it's a hog's head.
No, the nose.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
He
See,
said
I
it's a
can't-
very, he was apprentice at Flesher's Meats in Kingston, New York.
Well,
I can't
Spy-Boy,
eat those tails and ears and
He said the
nose
crown and
and-
glory was the biggest
feet.
head and molars and all in the pot.
Well,
Yeah, I don't
Spy-Boy,
eat
I'm
all
gonna
that
tell
stuff
you.
either, Lee.
I'm
No.
gonna leave you with this joke
I
for you,
couldn't eat it.
Spy-Boy. Spy-Boy, your head is so big. If the price of hog heads goes up, you better run and hide.
That was pretty good.
Is that a joke somewhere?
Yeah, that's a joke.
Oh, well, I didn't expect you to get it, Spy-Boy. That was like way above your pay grade. Things go so far over your head that you can't even look up.
God. Oh, what a show! What a show! What a show! Spy Boy,
Yeah.
you bring flavor to the show that it makes us laugh at least because we can't take you
always
serious.
bring out the best in me, Spy-Boy. You always brought the best out in me.
Well,
I can reach back and get some of the old signifying out for you, man.
when you talk the language of the slave, I guess you have nowhere else to go.
When you're talking the language of a slave, you're the one about to get hung on one of them Louisiana trees down
Weeping
there.
willows.
I'm sorry. Slave mentality. And who eats a hog head cheese?
Oh my God!
Spy Boy, I don't know what to say about you.
I got to call my healthcare nurse now because y'all done triggered
Got your
my
blood pressure all up.
No, my blood pressure ain't up. It's just that I can't breathe. I'm laughing so hard. Spy Boy, you don't
Well,
do this
I
to
mean,
me
if
no
you have
more.
a
You
minute
can
that you
hurt
have on the
me.
phone, there's only one person here that's talking about doing something from the old Confederacy. That's Alpha.
I don't know,
What?
man. You brought up the hog head cheese. That's back in the
food.
day.
That's food. Has
Yeah,
nothing to do with lynching.
That's slave food.
Has nothing. So barbecue ribs. So what?
Mm-hmm. Well, you brought it up. I'm just saying.
It's food.
Well,
Yeah, it is. It's food
It
for
has nothing
somebody.
to do. It has nothing to do with hanging people from trees, which is a threat that Alpha has on his
that is
mind.
your ultimate fate. That is your ultimate fate, Spy Boy.
No,
Them
Spy Boy, I
good
don't
old
want to
boys
see
down
you.
there catch up with you and hang you from a tree.
No, I keep
And
telling
you'll
you,
be
man.
going, but I'm one of you. I'm one of you.
That's right. That's Spy Boy and his people.
How many days? How long have you spent in the South, Alpha? Honestly,
How long? What?
how long have you ever spent in the South? A minute? 2 minutes?
I was
Layover in
down.
the airplane?
Spy boy. I was down in Birmingham, Alabama once, and I was
Once?
so defiant. I was so defiant that they hurried up and got me out of town because I was jaywalking. I was hitting parking meters. Oh, they'll lock you up for that. And I was walking down the street talking about, hold your head up, black people. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, that still goes
But
on, man.
I was down there for a couple of days, Spy Boy, 2 days.
That's
They
how
had to
Emmett
get me
Till
out of
made
town.
his maker.
They had to
That's how
get me
Emmett
out
Till
of
made his
town.
maker.
Hey, they was right.
Well, the South still has some things that are going on that I shake my head at. You know,
Right.
and the difference between the South and the North, and I've lived everywhere, is the South is overt and in your face with its message and the way they feel about you, and the North is covered up, but it still exists, and that's unfortunate that racism, exists. It does. And let me say,
Where does
no,
it
wait.
exist?
Let me finish, and you can go ahead and do your thing. It has gotten better. And I was having this discussion with a friend this morning. It has gotten better because there was a time when I would have to go behind a white line on a bus and sit in the back of the bus. I don't have to do that anymore. There was a time
Well,
when I couldn't
Trump
go
has
to.
this way. We might all be.
Well, this world will come to an end before that happens, I believe.
Yeah.
There was a time when I couldn't go to Woolworth and sit at the counter and have a hot dog and a cherry Coke and a bag of Snyder's potato chips. There was a time when I couldn't go to certain bathrooms or drink from certain water fountains. I couldn't go to certain schools. Those times have changed. Those are not issues for us today. The issues that we have today are a little different, and that's what Colin Kaepernick was bringing to light.
Colin
They-
Kaepernick is full of shit.
The younger people today don't have to worry about what I had to worry about when I was a teenager or a kid, when I was 5 years old in 1955. Having to worry about whether I could hold my urine till the next bus station where there was a bathroom for a colored person. My kids don't know anything about that. My grandchildren don't know anything about that. But there are things that they do have concerns about. That's what
Such
Colin
as?
Kaepernick brought to light.
Such as what?
So there's what?
Such as what? Like
I ju- I-
what is out here today?
Police,
That's unavailable
police,
to black folks.
No. I'm not talking about what's not unavailable. But what about police brutality? That's what Colin
That's a
Kaepernick
canard.
brought
That's
to.
a canard. What police brutality?
What do you mean, what police brutality? What about see, we had this in the last show, and you're still in denial in accepting the facts that as they were presented to you, Spy Boy. You
What
said
police
you said
brutality?
you said those things didn't exist. These people are dead. They were killed unfairly, unjust.
Because they resisted arrest.
No. A 13-year-old kid with a toy pistol was not resisting arrest. He was never told, put the gun down, get on the ground, put your hands behind your back. They got out of the fucking car shooting.
How old was he?
13.
You should have known better.
Oh,
See the
please.
police coming, you put the weapon down. Even the toy
He didn't
weapon
have
down.
a weapon.
He didn't have a weapon. He
Come
had
on,
a
man.
toy pistol, Spy Boy.
No,
You
Spy
can't-
Boy, the person
And
that
the
is
cops
Spy
supposed to
Boy
know
was
that.
Spy Boy. If you were driving and you got pulled over, as to say, driving while black, and the police officers say they were white and they were rogue and they were racist, will come out of the car, beat your ass to death. During the beating, you would say, you know what? It's justified. Beat my ass. You can't say things like that. I know you have your opinion, but you have to understand the plight of people who happen to be a certain color are racist mentality in this world. And you can't deny.
Right.
If you deny that, I'm sorry. It's just
when does that ever happen? When does that ever happen?
on a daily basis.
So what's the story from yesterday?
The last
You see,
time,
well, you one of them hard-headed dudes. See, you one of the type of dudes, man, who need your ass beat, and then maybe you get the message, but knowing you probably justify the cop beating the hell out of you.
Spy Boy,
You can't justify that.
Alpha came on. I gave you 3 examples the last time you were on the show. That wasn't good enough for you. Alpha came in with another 20 a plus, and you still don't get it.
Because none of it is true.
What do you mean it's not true?
The instances that occur that maybe they made a mistake, maybe they did act in the right fashion. They're not wholesale. Somebody at the office planning out these attacks.
Did you see the video of the guy that was killed up in Minnesota?
I did see that.
Okay. What did he do wrong?
He reached for his gun.
He did
the
not.
cop told him not to reach.
He did not reach
He
for
did.
his gun. No, he didn't.
The cop said the cop was saying he was reaching
He
for
did
the
not
gun.
reach
That's
his
what the
gun.
cop
His-
said. But he did not reach for his gun. He told the cop. He volunteered the information that he has a weapon. He has an open carry
And then he
permit.
dropped his hands and he started digging for something.
He was digging for the permit to show this asshole cop, and he was so paranoid.
Who told him to stop, and he didn't.
Okay, and this
That's
guy,
one case.
this guy should not be a
That's
cop
one
if
case
he's
out of
that damn
330 million
paranoid.
people.
If he's
That's
that
one case out of
paranoid,
330 million people.
he should not be a cop. He's not qualified. He doesn't have the intellect, the patience, the understanding, the sensitivity.
That's another canard. They have nothing to do with nothing.
Okay. Well, we can agree to
Give me
disagree,
some more.
but
You have more. You need to have more cases than that. You have to have.
there are thousands of
something.
them. There are thousands, tens of thousands of cases that we don't even know about because we didn't have the cell phones and the technology to prove the point. And it was very easy for cops to say whatever they want to say and plant a damn gun or a knife or whatever on a person to
It
justify
sounds like a Hollywood movie. It
killing
sounds like
someone.
a Hollywood movie. Sounds like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, well, what you're saying is more like a Hollywood movie. You don't want to
I've been-
accept
I've
and
been
deal
pulled
with the
over
truth. You
I've
would
been pulled
rather.
over in New York. Cop let me go. I was pulled over in Arizona. Cop let me go. I pulled the cop over in Virginia. So
The Virginia cop let you go too?
He did.
Yeah, well,
I pulled him over.
You were a good boy because the Virginia cops. I know I'm from Virginia. They're not so nice, and I've been stopped in Arizona, and I got a warning. I was speeding. I was doing 77 miles an hour, and the guy pulled me over. He was on a motorcycle. He happened to have been a Latino, and he was very nice. He asked me. He said, "Would you please slow down?" I said, "Yeah, I promise you, I will set my cruise control to the speed limit." I was coming down that hill and didn't realize I was doing 77. So he says, "Okay, I'm going to give you a warning. Have a nice day. Be safe." And I've always conducted myself in a professional way and a respectful way to the cops. But I have
and it shows.
and I have had cops that have been nasty to me for no good reason. Trying to intimidate you, get you frustrated, make you say something that you would regret. And I didn't allow them to do that to me. Some people cannot do that.
Those people are putting up daisies now.
They should not be killed because somebody's being disrespectful to them. Respect, honor goes both ways. These guys are supposed to serve and protect, not antagonize and kill. And I'm not saying all, but those who do. And those good cops that don't turn into bad cops, I understand your situation because you're trying to make it to the point where you can retire and get your pension. But something needs to change. And we're talking about it thanks to Colin Kaepernick. And that's my position, and I'm sticking with it. Thank you, folks, for joining us today on The Carol Show. She didn't do too much talking. I think she's found out what it takes to carry the whole show. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. But Carol, Chris, Apollo, and Spy Boy, the wild and crazy character on this show.
He doesn't talk the whole show either.
No, I don't, but I have to keep it going.
I kept that show going.
You did. You did a good job. Good job, Carol.
Until Spy Boy came in.
Alpo said you shouldn't have let Spy Boy in. All right, folks. God bless. We'll talk to you Monday. Be safe. And don't take no wood nickels. And remember, you ain't got a thing if you ain't got that swing. Bop shwa, bop shwa, bop shwa. On that, bye-bye.